I welcome you all to this session. This session we are going to discuss problem number 8 under rectification of errors. Rupees 500 spent on building repairs has been debited to the building. See, if you do not have this problem, just try to write the transaction and then follow what I am going to tell you. So rupees 500 spent on building repairs. So it is a repair towards the building. It is a revenue expenditure, okay, but which was debited to a building account. So this is a wrong entry. So you need to identify what is the correct entry, what is the wrong entry, and what is the rectified entry. Okay, so what is the correct entry? Correct entry should be repairs account debit to cash account. Okay, so 500 and 500, this should be the correct entry. But what is the wrong entry? Wrong entry that they have posted is building account debit to cash account. This is the wrong entry. Okay, but what you have to rectify, to cash is right. Wrong debit has to be credited and correct debit has to be debited. Okay, so repairs account debit, it is correct. Building is wrong. So debit, how to cancel? You have to credit it. I hope that this is clear. The next one, furniture worth rupees 5,000 purchased from X on credit omitted for being recorded in the books. So this was omitted. Now you have to record. So what is the correct entry? Furniture account debit to X account. So 5,000. Hope that this is clear. Then the third one is total of returns inward book was added by rupees 200 instead of 250. Total of return inward book was added by rupees 200 instead of 250. Actually, how much it has to be added? 250. But how much it is added? 200. So more, how much it has to be added? 250 minus 200, which is 50. So the entry will be returns inward account debit, because returns inward is like a sales return. So opposite of sales should be debit, right? Sales is to be credit, so opposite of sales will be debit. So return inward account debit 50 to suspense account. Okay, so this is the transaction. Then the fourth entry, goods purchased from Mohan for rupees 5,000 was passed through return inward books. It is a purchase, but what they have done, they have passed through return inward book. So what is the right, what is the wrong? You have to identify what is the correct entry. Goods purchased from Mohan, purchases account debit to Mohan account 5,000. This should be the correct entry. What is the wrong entry? They purchased, they have passed it to the return inward books. Okay, so return inwards account debit to Mohan. This is what they have done. Now what is the rectified entry? Rectified entry will be wrong, correct debit, purchases account debit. This has to be debited 5,000 to wrong debit, return inward needs to be cancelled, so credited. I hope that this is clear. Next one, goods returned to Ram was passed through sales book. Goods returned to Ram. What is the correct entry? returns, right? So you have to have, it is a return. So Ram, goods returned to Ram was passed through sales book. So we are returning. So Ram account debit, because Ram is the receiver, to purchase return. What is the wrong entry? It was passed through sales book. So Ram account debit to sales account. Okay, this is the wrong entry. What is the rectified entry? Rectified entry should be Ram is right. So what is to be credited to purchase return has to be credited, right? Purchase return has to be credited. What is to be debited? Wrong credit sales need to be debited. Okay, so this is the entry. The last entry, bills payable of rupees 5,000 accepted in favor of Murari was passed through bills receivable books with rupees 500, but Murari's account was correctly debited. Now, Murari's books, there is no problem. So bills payable 5,000 accepted in favor of Murari. Okay, so bills payable is to be it's a liability. Okay, so Murari's account debit to bills payable, this should be the correct entry, but passed through bills receivable book. So this is the correct entry, but wrong entry is bills receivable account debit they have done. Murari's account was correctly debited. So this one was correctly debited. While writing bills receivable ledger, what they have done, they have wrongly posted to Murari. Okay, so this part, bills receivable part is wrong. So what you're supposed to do is, if one aspect is right and another aspect is wrong, you need to include suspense account. So suspense account debit to bills, because it is wrongly debited, you are crediting it. Okay, so bills receivable account to bills payable, correct, credit. So total, see, they have done it as like this, passed through bills receivable with 500. So this 500 wrongly has to be rectified. So 500 here, and to bills payable 5,000. So totally 5,500 should be for suspense account. So this is the end of the problem. The next problem that we are going to discuss is it's problem number 10. Credit sales of rupees 1,700 to Krishnan was posted to Krishna's account. Hope you are able to see. Look into this. A credit sales of rupees 1,700 to Krishnan was posted to Krishna's account. What is the correct entry? The correct entry is Krishna was posted to Krishna's account. What is the correct entry? Krishnan account debit to sales account 1,700. This is the correct entry. What is the wrong entry that they have done? Credit sales of 1,700 to Krishna was posted to Kisan's account. So they have written like this: Kisan's account debit to sales account. They have written like this. So what is the rectifying entry? Rectifying entry, correct debit is to be debited, wrong debit has to be cancelled through crediting it. Okay, so this is the correct entry. Okay, so this is the correct entry. Krishna account debit to Kisan's account. In the narration part, you have to write being credit sales to Krishna was posted to Kisan's account, now rectified. The second transaction, a cash sales of rupees 1,700 to Meena was posted to the credit of Meena. Now what is the correct entry? Cash sales, cash account debit to sales account. This is the correct entry. 1700. This is the correct entry. But what is the wrong entry that they have done? Wrong entry, they have posted to the credit of Meena. So which means they have written it like this: cash account debit to Meena account. 1700. They have written it like this. What is the rectifying entry? Rectifying entry is to be cash is right. Okay, what is to be actually credited to sales? What is to be wrongly credited has to be debited back. Meena account 1700. So this entry is over. So Meena account to sales account 1700 and 1700. So this is over. The next one, a credit sales of old furniture to Prem for rupees 1700 was credited to the sales account. So actually what is the correct entry? Correct entry should be Prem account debit to furniture account. Prem account debit to furniture account 1700. This is the correct entry. But what is the wrong entry that they have done? They have credited to sales account. Prem account debit to sales account. This one they have done. So what is the rectified entry? Rectified entry is wrong credit has to be cancelled through debiting it. Correct credit has to be correctly written. So this is the correct entry. So sales account debit to furniture account. Sales account debit to furniture account. The next transaction, a credit sales of old furniture to Rohan for rupees 1700 was posted as 7100. Now credit sales of old furniture to Rohan. So what is the correct entry? Rohan account debit to furniture account. Rohan account debit to furniture account 1700 they have to write. This is the correct entry. What is the wrong entry? The wrong entry that they have done is Rohan to furniture account. Rohan account debit to furniture account 7100 they have written. So there is a mistake. So how much is excessively credited? You need to reverse the entry. So 7100 minus 1700, which is 5000. So furniture, this one has to be reversed, right? So correct entry is has to be reversed. So 5400 is the balance. So that has to be reversed. So I'm just writing furniture account debit to Rohan account 5400. This is the rectified entry. Okay. The next transaction, a check for rupees 640 received from Guru was dishonored and was posted to the debit of the sales return. A check for rupees 640 received from Guru was dishonored, was posted to the debit of sales return. So that is a blender mistake that they have done. So what is the correct entry? Check dishonored for Guru. So check means bank. Okay, so bank has to give back the check. Okay, so Guru has to collect the check. Guru account debit to bank account 640. 640 is the correct entry. What is the wrong entry? They have posted to the debit of the sales return. So sales return account debit to bank account 640. This is the wrong entry. Now how to rectify it? The rectifying entry would be correct person to be debited is Guru. Wrong person needs to be cancelled to sales return account. So we have rectified this. The next one, an amount of rupees 2,860 due from Prasad written off as bad in previous year was recovered as and credited to his personal account. This is a mistake. Okay, so bad debts was recovered. So what is the correct entry? Correct entry is bank debit the receiver. So bank receives the amount, bank account debit to bad debts recovered account 2,860. This is the correct entry. What is the wrong entry? Wrong entry that they have posted is they have credited to his personal account, which is a mistake. Bank account debit to Prasad's account. Okay, 2,860, which is a mistake. What is the rectifying entry? Rectifying entry will be bank is right. So wrong credit has to be debited. Prasad's account debit to correct credit. Bad debts recovered account 2,860. So this is the correct entry. Okay, so I hope that this is clear. The next transaction, a discounted bill of exchange receivable for rupees 8,000 returned by the firm's bank had been credited to the bank account and debited to the bill's receivable account. A discounted bills of exchange receivable for rupees 8,000 returned by the firm's bank had been credited to the bank account and debited to bills receivable. Now this particular transaction, the correct entry will be debtors account debit to bank account. Okay, this will be the correct, because discounted bills of exchange receivable for 8,000 returned by the firm's bank had been credited. So returned means it is dishonored. Okay, it's not it's returned. So debtors replaced. Debtors means they have to pay us money, so they have to pay us. The bank will not discount it. They have to repay the money. So debtors account debit to bank account. This is the right entry. So 8,000 and 8,000. Now what is the wrong entry that they have posted? Wrong entry would be instead of writing debtors, they have written bills receivable. See, has been credited to the bank account and debited to bills receivable. So bills receivable account debit to bank account. $8,000. Now what is the rectified entry? Rectified entry is what is actually to be debited? Debtors. What is wrongly debited? Bills receivable. So we need to write what is correctly to be written. Debtors account debit to bills receivable account. 8,000. Hope this is clear. The next one is 10,000 paid for the electricity bill of the proprietor's residence was debited to electricity expenses account. See, it is a drawings. Okay, it's a proprietor's residence. It's a personal account. So what is the correct entry? Correct entry should be drawings account debit to cash account 10,000. Okay, but what is the wrong entry? Wrong entry will be electricity expenses. Account debit to cash account. What is the rectified entry? Correct debit is what? Drawings. So debited. What is wrongly debited? Electricity expenses. So credited. Okay, so this is the right entry. An amount of rupees 7,500 withdrawn from bank by the proprietor for his personal use was debited to purchases account. Okay, an amount of 7,500 withdrawn from bank by the proprietor for his personal use was debited to the purchases account. What is the correct entry? Correct entry is drawings account debit to cash account. This is the correct entry. What is the wrong entry that they have done? They have written purchases account debit to cash account. Okay, purchases account debit to cash account. So what is the rectified entry? What is the correct thing that has to be debited? Drawings. What is the wrong mistake? Purchases is debited, which has to be cancelled, that we need to credit it. Okay, so this transaction is over. The next one, an amount of rupees 1,500 withdrawn from bank by the proprietor for office use was debited to drawings account. See, it's for office use. So the correct entry should be cash account to bank accounts, because amount of 15,000 withdrawn from bank. Okay, amount of 15,000 withdrawn from bank. So cash account debit to bank account. What is the wrong entry? Wrong entry will be drawings account debit to bank account. Okay, drawings account debit to bank account. This is the wrong entry. Now what is the rectified entry? Rectified entry is the wrong debit has to be credited and correct debit has to be debited. So cash account debit to drawings account. 15,000 and 15,000. So this is the correct entry. The next transaction, rupees 8,000 salary paid Varun, an employee, debited to his personal account. What is the correct entry? Salaries account debit to cash account. This is the correct entry. What is the wrong entry? Wrong entry that they have done is Varun account debit to cash account. What is the rectified entry? Rectified entry is to be salaries account debit. Varun wrongly debited, so I am crediting. Okay, so this is the entry. Being the salary paid to Varun debited to his account, now rectified. So we are come to an end of this class. Thank you, class.